I'd like to call to order the Penn Trafford School Board meeting of August 10th. Start with pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, can you please take roll call for me?
Mrs. Zissing? Here. Mr. Kachasik?
Here.
Dr. Koschel? Here. Mr. Leonard?
Here.
Mr. Newell?
Here.
Mr. Nemeth?
Here.
Mr. Petrucci? Mr. Stovar?
Here.
Dr. Trey?
Thank you, Ms. Fowler. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the June 8th, 2015 meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Zissing.
Question. Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. Dr. Harris, information.
Yes, we're going to actually turn it over to start off from Mr. Karazia, who has some guest presenters.
Thank you, Dr. Harris. Tonight, before we get started, we have a presentation from two teachers at the high school, Dawn Blank and Kara Enoch. But in 2009, we had stimulus money that we had given, instead of some districts, what they did is put that into staffing. We decided to put it into actual programming, knowing that's one-time money, and once that goes away, the staffing would go away unless the district picked it up. So we put in the programming, and these two ladies were responsible for our transition program at the high school, and they did such a great job that they were actually invited to the transition conference that was held up in State College. I always say this second to none that we have transition program. I almost throw it in their thunder, but we are second to none in Pennsylvania, if not the actual United States in transition, because I have not seen anything that compares to what we have, and it's due to those two ladies. So, as I usually do, is I'll give them the ball and get out of the way, let them run their plans.
Thank you. We just want to thank you for allowing us to come in and talking briefly. We won't keep you very long, but we were asked to, we were given the honor of presenting at Penn State, as Greg said, this past July, and we did give you guys a copy of our PowerPoint, so you can look through that.
Our initial presentation was an hour and a half, so obviously we're going to need to condense it quite a bit. We wanted to show you, we figured this would sum up kind of what we try to accomplish.
Transition.
Is we actually have a video of one of our students describing kind of what he does in the coffee shop and the things that they learn in the coffee shop. And we showed this video at the presentation, so we figured that would kind of help to kind of sum up what we talked about there.
Integrates vocational skills into students' school days. Most students begin at Coffee for a Cause, our high school coffee shop, where they learn basic job skills and are prepared to move into a job in the community. In addition to job skills, students' math, reading, and communication skills are addressed at Coffee for a Cause. There are several community job placements for students who have mastered skills at Coffee for a Cause. These job placements require more independence and responsibility.
Hello, my name is Alex Brizuela, and I'm about to demonstrate what I do in the coffee shop. Whenever I first go to Coffee for a Cause, I take one of these time cards, and I actually put the time card in here, and I have in the where it says in, I press this down, and that means I'm punched in. And each of us has our own individual time cards, so each of us can punch in. Okay, so whenever I go into the coffee shop, I currently go on the cash register right here, and this is where I ram all the customers and like for example, if I put in like one regular coffee and these like the coffees, the cappuccinos, the hot cocoa, water, the teas, and the apple cider, and the cookies are right here, and these are the sugars and sweeteners for the coffee. Wherever I have like an order that says like one has like one regular coffee and 2 sugars and 2 sweet and lows. I just put like the total into here, and I put the money in here, and push in cash. And
Where do you put the slip?
oh no, I actually put the slip right here. So the other employees actually filled the orders. Okay, so here's how the employees filled the orders. like for instance, if the customer gets like 1 hot chocolate, I get a cup, and I get 1 cup and fill this in, and I hold this in for like 7 or 8 seconds, and after that, I put the if the customer wants like whipped cream on it, I have to shake it up and spray it on like so. And if it wants marshmallows, then I give the customer marshmallows right here. And
Where's the coffee?
the coffee is right here. If the customer wants coffee, I get 1 of these cups out, and I push down on this lever here, which fills the cup up. And the customer wants like a sugar as a creamers. I get like, for example, if the customer wants 2 of these fresh vanilla creamers, I get 2 of these, and he wants like 1 of these Splendas, I get 1 of these. So here the tea is like let me give you an example. If the customer wants like 1 regular tea, then I'll get like 1 regular tea bag, and then get like a cup. And after that, I had to open the packaging up and put the tea bag in here, and then fill it up with water, like so. Yeah. And after that, I had to put the lid on and get the sweet. And yeah, that's it for the teas. Okay, now we're on to the cookies. Like say if the customer wants like 2 short cookies, I'll get a napkin like right here, and I'll pick the cookies up with the napkins, and I'll give the cookies to the customer.
How do we make cookies?
Okay, so and here's how we make the cookies. And making the cookies isn't really hard. We get 1 of these trays. We get 1 of these containers which contains the 3 flavors of cookies, which is chocolate chip, sugar, and M&M. And then we place the cookie container right. And then here's how I do it. I place the cookie container right here, and I get on 1 of these trays right here, and put parchment paper onto the trays. And I put the cookies on the tray.
Where do they go?
And then after that, I put each of the trays into the oven, and that's it for the cookies. After that, I press the time. And after I put the cookies in, I press the timer button right, the start and stop button right here on the timer. So I can and the cookies will bake for 15 minutes. And after the cookies are done, we press this button again when we stop the timer, and we stop the timer, and then we get each of the cookies out, and put the sheets on each of these trays. And that's where I put them to cool off. I actually work in RCW now, and there's actually no, and I only go to the coffee shop like 1 period and like a 2nd period.
But if you work more than 1 period, you get a break?
Well, if I work more than 1 period, I get each of us get like a 5-minute break.
And how long have you worked in your coffee shop?
Well, I've worked in the coffee shop for like I since 9th grade.
And what grade are you in now?
And now the current grade I'm in right now is 10th grade.
And what's your favorite job at the coffee shop?
Well, I think my favorite job in the coffee shop is working, and the easiest is working at the cash register, which is right here. And I find that really easy too.
Is there anything else you want to say about the coffee shop?
Well, I think the coffee shop is that. I don't think the coffee shop is actually really bad at all. I mean, it's not really too stressful. And it's actually just fine. And in the coffee shop, I actually meet a lot of people there, and they're actually really nice to me as well. And I really appreciate how nice they treat me too. Anyways, that's all I have for right now. Anyways, see you.
We'll stop it there. There's a little bit more of the video, but we just wanted to give you an idea of what our kids learned in the coffee shop. And it's not about making coffee and cookies. There's more to it than that. We learn what skills our kids are, what they're good at.
And you can see, Alex, some of you might remember him as he was a student of the month at the end of the year, last school year. But, Alex started in the coffee shop, and now he's pretty much training other students how to do the things in the coffee shop that need to be completed. And that's our goal, is to have students do all of the things that happen in the coffee shop. We want other students to train the new students. We want them to do the orders. We want them to work in the cash register. You notice the cash register is similar to something you would see at a Sheetz or something like that, just to try to prepare them for work after they leave school.
Some of the jobs that have come about from the coffee shop, the skills, we had a student who has been working at Eden Park. It'll be 2 years actually in November. And she's a dishwasher at Eden Park, and she started she was one of our originals in the coffee shop, and now she's working independently at Eden Park. We had another student who, he liked baking the cookies, but he wanted to get into culinary, and he did a culinary program at Redstone Highlands Nursing Home, and he finished a culinary program out there, got his Safe Serve test, passed with a 95%, and he actually had a job at Giuseppe's, however, has actually applied at a nursing home since then. But so just some success stories that we've had with our students, so we're really proud of our students.
We're appreciative of all of your help and support, and because it is a very worthwhile cause for the students, and they really do enjoy it, and they get a lot out of it.
How do you guys choose the students that work here?
It's the life skill students that go in there, and we do have some learning support students if they need help with maybe their math skills. We put them on the cash register and things like that. We had 2 learning support students who were included in the regular education classes, but during their study halls they would come down and work in the coffee shop. But mainly it's life skills students
That need help with job skills and just improving that. So that's a kind of hands-on opportunity for them.
And we've also brought up middle school kids to work a period a week, or a period every day. So they would switch on, every other day one would come up.
Just to help with the transition, because once they come to the high school, they'll be the plan would be for them to work in the coffee shop. So we kind of gradually introduce them so they're kind of familiar with the equipment. Obviously that was our temporary location. So they get familiar with the equipment and the things that go on there. And it just helps with that transition.
How long has the program been in existence?
It's 5 years.
This year?
And where do
Yeah.
you see it going from here? I'm sure you guys have some ideas on where to take it bigger, or?
I probably could speak for you too, but I didn't think that it was ever going to be. I think when we spoke to Scott early on, I remember that first conversation, he suggested the library. I don't think that we ever really envisioned it being like this.
It's really taken off. It's a win-win for everybody. These kids benefit from it tremendously, but the student body loves it as well. It's a great opportunity. A lot of schools have modeled what we're doing and come see us and try to emulate it and develop a program. It's very similar to ours. These ladies have done a great job of developing the program, and Greg supports it. And it's been a great thing, there are some things we have under some pressure or oversight from the federal guidelines as to what we can do and serve in there. So working through those issues, that could be a challenge to deal with. Because Aramark and us are trying to work that out and try how to deal with that. But we want to expand it. We're going to have a great new coffee shop this coming year. It's going to open up here in another month or so, and it's going to be expanded. It's larger, it's bigger, and hopefully we can have some more offerings and do some bigger and better things there.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. I mean, we would love to do that. The students are excited. I mean, even some of the other students in the school, if I see them over the summer, they're saying, "Is the coffee shop going to be open? Are they going to open it? Is it going to be in the new place?" So.
But we have it. I mean, we started out by only being open a half a day, and now we're open a full day, minus fifth period. But we also do deliveries. So.
And you're also leading into, we're looking at scanning and getting the scanning capability down in the administration building, so we scan all of our documents. We have 2 job coaches actually we hired that actually go down and teach the students to scan and to shred the documents, and then that we have them electronically. Also, we're looking at the bays with the renovation to do car detailing. So that would be another thing that we're pushing out for. But we start transition here at age 12, which is 2 years before you actually have to, when we know students are in life skills. It gives them that extra couple years of more employability skills.
So if you have any other questions, I know we're kind of meeting our limit here, but our emails are in, the PowerPoint, so if you have any questions or comments or whatever, you can email us.
And if you would ever like to come up and see the students, feel free. They love to have visitors. So.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have our student union representative. He wasn't here last week, so if you can give your report from last week and also tell us about your conference that you attended when you was gone. Because I think that's amazing that you went to that.
Thank you, Dr. Harris, Mr. President. Would you like me to give the presentation first or about NSLC first?
Do your presentation to go ahead and have the conference into it.
All right, guys. Sorry I wasn't here last week. I did watch the video online, so I'm all caught up with the meetings. So as you know, one of my goals over the next couple of years is to increase communication about construction between the people doing construction and the students, because student reception of construction last year was very negative. There were a lot of negative reactions to construction. So that being said, I met with Nassau representatives on July the 22nd to take a tour of the school. I was impressed with the amount of work that's being done. And the work that still needs to be done before the beginning of the school year, but I'm sure it can all get taken care of. It's going to be pretty cool seeing it come together. I plan to keep in contact with Catherine and others from Nassau in order to achieve my goal of a straight line of communication between students and what's happening around them. Students are excited to be starting school. Freshman elections will occur very early in the school year. I'll announce the winners as soon as they're elected. And I hope and pray that this year will be filled with learning and fun. I know that sounds cheesy, but I really do hope that this year is fun and that it's filled with a lot of new experiences for everyone. So just please keep the students of Contraford in mind when making your decisions this year. I'm sure all of you will. The reason why I was not here last week was because I was at the National Student Leadership Conference at American University in Washington, D.C. I learned how to be a diplomat. It was pretty fun. It was kind of like nerd camp, but it was all right. I got to take got to listen to lectures done by American University professors. We got to visit the Saudi Arabian embassy and talk with the Malaysian ambassador. There were a lot of cool things that we did. Got to visit the United Nations in New York, so I had a good time. I think it was worth skipping the meeting. So anyway, thank you guys very much. Are there any questions? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming on and braving the heat to be with us. Two of our teachers who we hired last week couldn't be here last week, but they were coming tonight, so just wanted to kind of introduce them. First, we have Jamie Riston. Jamie will be teaching music at middle school. And she'll also be traveling to Real Elementary School, Elementary, which is not a big traveling from Packard, Level Green, and Sunrise, and teaching all the band instrumental lessons. How many years have you taught at the Frick Environmental School?
3.5.
3.5 years. And you currently live in Murraysville?
Yes.
Prior to the Frick, you were subbing or?
I was long-term subbing in Plum McHugh Sport Penn Hills, and then before that, taught in Phoenix, Arizona for 2 years.
What grades was that? Were you at Phoenix?
K-3.
Glad to have you. One of the things we've always wanted to do is we want to expand our high school band. Interview 1, we asked that every single person who walks through the door, what is your plan to expand the high school band? Interview 2, she was the only one who came back with a presentation as a follow-up to say, here's my plan, you asked me about it before, I just want to follow up with you, and presented us with a whole entire presentation on how she was going to expand the high school band, so we appreciate that. And actually she was hired, was it on Thursday? Mm-hmm. And you got the call on Thursday, and she found out that there was band camp on the Monday, and never asked her, but lo and behold, she showed up and she was there the whole week. So thank you so much for doing that, and I think our kids are in good hands. And thank you for coming this week as well. And Tara, I wanted to say Raymond, but it's actually Guerreri. She's married now, I know from Tara. Tara taught in Florida for 2 years?
3 years.
3 years in Florida, and then you came back, and before you was in SLA at Level Green, how long did you sub for us?
For my day-to-day subbing, it's about 3 to 4 years, then the last year and a half was long-term subs.
You were primarily at Level Green?
Level Green, I had long-term in traffic.
Everything we've ever asked Tara to do, she's done. She showed up in my foundation, volunteered there. She's a very go-getter, outstanding academic performance. All of our school goals. At the interview, we asked every single person, what are our goals? What are our goals? What are her goals? She nailed them. She was one of the few who just nailed them and got them right and had a plan for the goals. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate her working so hard to get this job. So thank you.
I can just say personally, I had a daughter that we used Tara as a tutor after school, and she did a great job with her. And it was easy to get her to stay. Made her feel special, and that's usually hard to do.
That's half the battle.
Yeah.
We're
She
tutoring,
felt special, and
staying.
I think she caught up, so I appreciate her efforts.
Good to hear.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And if you want to, if you want to stay for the meeting for the new teacher, that's great. You meet the board at the end. If you have to go, we understand as well. And tonight, I know we talked about the last week. We was in the food allergy updates. I just wanted to read some of the updates we made to the policy. First of all food items, of course, are must be approved by the approved snack list. No homemade items are permitted. I know for a lot of our clubs, we used to always bring in some food for our clubs, but we want to stick to just going through our food vendor. If you need something for your club, you want to order something special, Aramark would actually do that. So you can actually go through them. And also, a couple of changes with Aramark. We want to make sure if they're going to be running out of food, they tell the people a day in advance. And if you have a menu change, it causes a lot of trouble with the kids if you go to order something and you're expecting something, but it's not on the menu the next day when you order it. Some of the older kids, not so much, but the younger kids, it does cause a lot of stress for them, and we want to avoid that stress. And especially, a lot of our kids do this because of food allergy reasons, so we want to make sure we're enforcing that and providing them with a safe meal as well. But that's all I have.
I'll be glad to ask a question.
Thank you, Dr. Harris.
Do you have a question? Trying to see me at the end?
Sure.
Oh, do you want to ask now? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, will there be forums available for clubs? Like, will that be announced to clubs?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they're going to promote it heavily, because I know a lot of your clubs rely on bringing in your own food.
Yes. Sorry.
Take Nick.
Which Duke is that? What? Motion.
What's the motion for? I don't have that in front. Employee relations negotiations. It's for approval. Well, certainly, you can do that.
She'll ask it, she substitutes for Nick when he's not here. Does anyone remember for,
Okay.
that's Mr. Leonard, Dallas.
Okay, thank you.
We don't have any visitors.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Harris. Normally we do recognition of visitors, but no one has signed up to speak tonight, so we will move on. May I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report and the high school extracurricular funds report?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Kachasik, second by Mr. Newell.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. May I have a motion to approve the list of bills for the month of August?
Motion. Motion by Mr.
Second.
Leonard, second by Mr. Kachasik.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. Any old business tonight? Thank you. Tonight's, prior to the meeting, we held an executive session to discuss the following personnel, particularly volunteer background checks, compensation and benefits for non-professional staff, professional employee candidates, paraprofessional candidates. The board also met to receive information on various matters, including construction expenditures, food service programs, naming rights, football schedule, and construction change orders. Athletics and extracurricular, Dr. Koshko.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept the following resignation. Chuck Durst, wrestling coach, junior high.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Zissou. Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to employ the athletic and extracurricular personnel for the 2015 school year as presented to the board. Salaries will be determined in accordance with the negotiated agreement. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and acceptance of Act 34, 115, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. That would be Appendix B in your booklet.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
And one more, move to approve the following volunteer coach. Kelsey Olinsky, volunteer varsity girls assistant soccer coach.
Second. Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
That'll be all, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Koshko. Budget and Finance, Mr. Kachasik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to approve the expenditures for the high school renovation project for the month of August 2015 according to the schedule as listed. Second.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to approve the school resource officer program agreement for 2015-16. There are no changes from 2014-15.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The motion is carried.
Move to approve the Penn Trafford School District's contributions to the area libraries for 2015-16 as follows, as listed.
Second. Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Before we number 4, just a quick question. Did we get to see these uniforms first?
Oh, I wish we were had a sample brought up.
That you would wear it in here, Dr. Harris?
I probably couldn't fit into it.
If you happen to think about it, you could send us a picture. Move to purchase band uniforms for DeMolin Brothers and Company in Greenville, Illinois at a cost of $72,811 to the district. The initial payment of $18,202.75 will be made at the time of purchase, with the remainder of $54,608.25 due after July 1st, 2016.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I just want to remind you, it does take 150 to 180 days to see the whole, to get the uniforms. That's how long it takes. They're all special order. So
It'll be for next year, really.
Yeah, technically, because even
Right.
if you think about it, 150, 180 days, it puts them to
We'll
past
see
year's
him-
season.
We'll see him next year then.
We'll see them next year.
I think the last time they got uniforms, they were able to use them at the Memorial Day Parade,
Oh, that's no longer so? So it
Mhm.
must be a standard.
which that's been many years.
So, Harris, what's the rotation for, is every 10? That's what I thought.
It's about 7 to 10 years.
7 to 10, depending on, all right, so we have some flexibility.
Right.
Yeah, and there are different styles of band uniforms. You can go with a cheaper uniform that's lighter and it can be replenished every 5 years, or a more expensive one that lasts 10 years. So I'm not sure what one you selected or what the
More expensive.
More expensive. We'll get more years out
Yeah,
of it.
it's not. It's going to be nice though. I'm sure.
Okay, thank you. Move to approve June's revised credit reimbursement amount for $16,776.20 to $24,368.60 to include additional reimbursements to administrators.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Question regarding 6, unfortunately I was not here last week for items, change orders A, B, C, and D. That was reviewed at last week's meeting.
Yes, it was.
Okay, let's see if I get this right, Mike. Move to approve the following change order request as listed, with the exception of one additional one that wasn't presented last week, and that is the cost to furnish and install an additional pole out front of the high school for approximately $3,000.
Specifically, it's a light head.
Light head.
The pole will be there, but Warden's going to add 2 light heads to it that will match the rest of it. About $3,000.
Second.
So that you need a second, but yes, that's appropriate.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. New, I heard a second.
You did hear a second.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to authorize the Penn Trafford School District to enter into a mutual written agreement with the lowest responsible bidder where all specifications were met as listed in the amounts indicated for the sanitary repairs at Penn Trafford High School and Trafford Middle Elementary Schools, which were open at a public session on Monday, July 13, 2015, 11 a.m. at the Administration Building, as listed.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
That is all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Koshko.
Mr. Kachasik.
Kachasik, I'm sorry.
Well, some people call us brothers.
Buildings and grounds and safety, Mr. Leonard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have one motion I'd like to make under that category. I'd like to move to approve the list of substitute custodians for the 2015-16 school year. Copy will be filed with the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
That's all I have under buildings and grounds and safety, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Employee relations, negotiations, and transportation, that is me. Move to approve the list of bus drivers and substitutes as presented by First Student for the 2015-16 school year. A copy will be filed with the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
And while we're on the subject of the busing, just a reminder to everyone that the postcards should be mailed out Wednesday for the bus routes. The postcards, I think the kids and the parents look forward to receiving the bus notifications, and it also helps us because sometimes we send out one that's incorrect, and I'd rather fix it 2 weeks before school versus the first day of school. So.
Food service, Mr. Stovall.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to approve the list of cafeteria personnel for the 2015-16 school year as presented by Aramark Education. A copy will be filed with the official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kachasik.
Question?
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to adopt the following resolution by the Board of School Directors for the 2015-16 school year with regard to the free and reduced lunch program. Be it resolved that the Penn Trafford School District agrees to participate in the National School Lunch Program and to receive commodities donated by USDA and accepts the responsibility for providing free and reduced priced meals in accordance with the Pennsylvania Department of Education guidelines to eligible children in all schools under the district's jurisdiction.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kachasik. Question?
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to approve Turner Dairy as the milk supplier for the 2015-16 school year.
Second.
Question.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried. Personnel and curriculum. Mr. Leonard, would you please fill in for Mr. Trucy?
Thank you, Mr. President. I do have a number of motions under that category. I'll start off with making a motion. The following administrators be designated official raters of professional personnel in the Penn Trafford School District for the 2015-16 school year. Dr. Matthew Harris, Mr. Scott Ingles, Mr. Gregory Garcia, Mr. Tony Aquilio, Mr. Greg Capiccioni, Mrs. Karen Coiner, Mr. Daniel D. Napoli, Mr. Joseph A. Marasty Jr., Mr. Greg Saraceni, Mr. Jim Simpson, Mr. Roger Sullivan, and Mr. Jeff Schwartz.
Second.
Second by Dr. Costa.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the teacher assignments for the 2015-16 school year as recommended by the administration. A copy of the assignments will be filed with the official minutes. The administration is further authorized to notify teachers of their permanent assignments in accordance with the negotiated agreement.
Second.
Second by Mr. Kachasik.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the list of substitute teachers and support personnel for the 2015-16 school year. A copy will be filed with official minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Second by Dr. Costa.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to issue professional contracts to the following teachers in accordance with Section 1108 of the school laws of Pennsylvania. These teachers have satisfactorily completed 3 years of teaching in Penn Trafford School District. Katie Datz, Denise Doyle, Lisa Konopka, Nicholas Lynn, Maria MacArthur, Eric Rieger, Heather Skavinsky, Amber Urick, Leah Wentrobe, and Jamie Wittek.
Second.
Second by Dr. Costa.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
Not to interrupt again, but it's hard to believe when you see the names that they've been here 3 years so fast. I mean, time flies. The 10 teachers listed there have all brought a lot of great things to Penn Trafford, worked very hard, and I don't want to take time to go through each and every one of the names, but I'm very proud of all of them. And like I said, 3 years, it flies. It really does. Like a blink of an eye, we're here. So thank you.
Thank you. I would like to move to approve the following 9 leave requests as listed.
Second.
Second by Mr. Newell. Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the following sabbatical leave request for Jill Hauk, learning sabbatical for second semester of 2015-16 school year.
Second.
Second by Mr. Dissing. Question?
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to employ the following personnel. New employment is contingent upon the receipt of all necessary documentation and the acceptance of Act 34, 151, and 114 waivers from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania within 30 days. There are 4 special education classroom instructional aides and, sorry, but I didn't copy. 10 student learning assistants, 2 super substitutes, 3 long-term subs, effective 8/24/15, 1 lunchroom aide, and they all are as listed.
Second by Mr. Newell.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the student handbooks for the 2015-16 school year.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like move to accept the revised retirement date for Deborah Eggleston from May 28, 2015 to August 11, 2015.
Second.
Second by Dr. Costa.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the following textbooks for the 2015-16 school year that are in the textbook budget according to the textbook cycle. The title being Psychology AP, publisher Pearson, copyright 2015, grade level 12, class AP Psychology, cost $6,316.38.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve early admission for the following student. The student has met all early admission requirements. Student number EA201516001, kindergarten at Level Green Elementary School.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
I'd like to move to approve the following intern practicum placements for the fall semester of 2015-16. Eastern University Cooperating Professional Blahovic Markovinsky, intern Lisa Popovich, area school nursing practicum, dates fall semester 100 hours. California University of Pennsylvania Cooperating Professional Jeffrey Schwartz, intern Andrea Frescura, area principal intern, dates fall semester.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Issen. Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Well, since I don't have the illustrious Goody report for the group here, that's all I have for tonight, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Leonard. Policy, Public Relations, Legislative Title II, Mr. Newell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move to accept and file the minutes of the Superintendent's Information Committee meeting held on Monday, June 1st, 2015.
Second.
Second by Mr. Leonard.
Question.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to adopt policy number 709.1 and administrative regulation number 709.1-AR-0, entry onto school property and into school buildings.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Move to adopt the following revised documents as administrative regulations on food allergies, medication guidelines, and clinical guidelines for anaphylaxis.
Second.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question.
Question being called for. This will be a roll call vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
Number 4 is what happens when you're not here. Move to appoint Dr. Jay Trey as PSBA voting delegate for the 2015-16 school year.
Before we close that motion, is there anything else we can put in on that?
Yeah, no kidding. Second.
Question.
Second by Mr. Chassid.
Question being called for. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carried.
And that is all I have this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Newell. Taxes, Insurance, and Census, Mr. Stovall.
Nothing this evening, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Stovall. Solicitors report, Mr. Brungo.
Nothing to report this evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Brungo. PTE representative, Mr. Sean Renier.
Ready to get back to work. I already got a nice roster of kids this year.
Thank you, Mr.
That's it.
Thank you, Mr. Renier. Could I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion. Motion by Mr. Leonard.
Second.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Meeting adjourned at 7:50.